showtime.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are tonight's entertainment.
You're not here, you missing out, because this show...
Ladies and gentlemen.
All right, listen up. And now, the moment you've all been waiting for.
It's time for the Alliance Guys podcast.
This is Santo, and you're watching the Alliance Guys podcast on YouTube.
This is the world famous cheeseburger, and you're watching the Alliance Guys podcast here on YouTube.
This is Bruno Bob Evans, and you're watching the Alliance Guys podcast on YouTube.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Bullhead Brute, AJ Kazana, one half of the country gentleman from the National Wrestling Alliance, and you are watching the Alliance Guys here on YouTube.
Bah! 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 Hello, I'm Balaba, and you're listening to the Alliance Guys podcast. Bah! Bah! Bah!
Hey, Chris, you made this debut.
Oh! Oh!
I'm Richard Holiday. That was my signature move, and you're watching the Alliance Guys podcast.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Alliance Guys podcast, a presentation of alliance-wrestling.com, your number one source for news and information for the National Wrestling Alliance. My name is Jay Cal. His name is Rick Del Santo. He is the professor. And Professor, welcome to the show, man. Haven't seen you in a while. How you been?
I'm great. It's been a while since I've been here. I'm happy to be back, on some professional wrestling. Wow.
It's been a minute since you've been here. DK will not be joining us tonight. He's taking the night off. Jaden should be joining us momentarily. A lot of fun things to talk about in the NWA. First of all, my utter disappointment. My rage for the NWA, because we were supposed to get the NWA on Tubi today. I mean, that's what the rumor going around was. That's what it was. I was led to believe. But when I went on to Tubi today, you know what I didn't see? The National Wrestling Alliance. And I'm not saying that, that's the end all be all, but, as a fan of the NWA, I feel like one of the things that have been missing, ever since they've left YouTube, is a back catalog. Where can I go watch the old stuff? Where can I watch some of the stuff I haven't seen before? Going to Comment, I think, was a great move for them. I really do feel like that's going to be beneficial in the long term. But you're getting all these new eyeballs on the product, and they can only watch the episode this week. And if they're lucky, they can jump online at Comment TV and see the week's previous episode. So there isn't a big opportunity for the new fans to get acquainted with the product. I mean, when you tune into Raw and you see Cody Rhodes, or excuse me, I guess SmackDown, you see Cody Rhodes, who's a former NWA World's Heavyweight Champion, Ricky Saints, former NWA Television Champion. You see the SmackDown General Manager, who's now getting ready to jump back in the ring, Nick Aldis, who's a former NWA World's Heavyweight Champion. You've seen a lot of these guys who got, cut their teeth with the NWA show up on SmackDown, on Raw. Thunder Rosa was the AEW Women's Champion, but before that, she was the NWA Women's Champion. And there's this great history of the NWA that, fans don't get to see because there's not a back catalog of that.
I agree. And I've always been wondering, where are the first few seasons, 4 or 5 seasons? Because I quite enjoyed the first 2 or 3 seasons a lot. And it's some of the lineup that they had there, like Nick Aldis, Thunder Rosa, was a Royce Isaacs was part of the right? Yeah, Royce Isaacs, sorry.
Yeah.
Was part of the team. Yeah. And there was just this whole different layout of what it was then compared to now. And it's just it's people like myself, I love going back and watching the history of how something became. It'd be awesome to go there and go back and watch all the previous seasons and catch up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I don't know what the NWA plan is with Tubi, if it's literally just going to be the new episodes that are going to be cataloged on Tubi that you can watch in demand, or if they're going to bring back, the seasons that were on CW, the seasons that were on, X, if they're going to go back to the YouTube seasons, and I hope they do. I really hope they do, because I feel like, again, what a missed opportunity. I mentioned 4 names, but there was a lot of great wrestling that was happening that, is kind of fallen by the wayside. Just another name that popped into my head was Maddie Rankowski, who now wrestles as Ren Sinclair. She is the speed champion for NXT. And again, what's going on? I just really disappointed that the NWA hasn't been able to lock that up yet. And, the bigger companies, right? AEW has a fast channel on Tubi. The WWE has different various programming on Tubi, including Evolve. That's the home of Evolve, is on Tubi. The WWE even has the whole WCW library, and I believe the AWA library and the ECW library. I think all of that exists on YouTube now, where you can watch it live, or like it's continuously running, like its own fast channel. And I think, if the NWA could do that, I think they have the footage. We're talking not just 1 year or 2 years. We're now talking that the Power premiered at the end of 2019, and we are 7 years now removed from them.
Right.
So I just think, like, man, I know it's going to inevitably happen that Tubi will get the back catalog, or Tubi will start showing the next day episodes, the previous episodes. What am I trying to say here? They're going to show the most recent episodes that are going to go up on Tubi. I just hope it also becomes the platform for their vault, their back catalog.
Right. We're in dire need of it, I think, because it's just guys like us that have been watching the Lightning One era since the beginning, literally their transition. It just feels like there's something missing. You know what I mean? I don't know where that footage lies, because it's not like, there was a time where it was all on YouTube, and then all of a sudden, I think it seems like someone was just bouncing around for a while, then all of a sudden just not there anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, and because I was in the thick of it when all that was happening.
Right.
No one officially came out and said it, but I think Billy was getting ready to just close the whole brand. I literally think it was getting ready to be shelved during COVID, because there was no clear sign of when pro wrestling would return. They didn't know if COVID was going to be 6 months or 6 years. Nobody had an answer.
Right.
There was the dissension with him and Josephus. They quit being friends during this time. And then, of course, the speaking out movement that affected pro wrestling, hit some of the talent in the NWA. David Lagana, specifically, the head of creative, gone. So it was like, you got a lot of things that were coming up negative for the NWA during COVID. And that's why I think that they wiped off the YouTube channel. I think they were they were preparing to shut the whole thing down. I think. No one's ever confirmed that to me, but it was intimated at multiple times during COVID. And
it was a difficult time for professional wrestling as a whole. The only thing that existed was the 2 major networks, because they were on major cable networks. You know what I mean? They had to create products, and they were able to be fun.
Yeah, and
sell and make millions off of merchandise as well. Still, you know what I'm saying? So it was easier for them, but they were getting ready. I think around that time period, it was a Marty Scurll and they were supposed to have a relationship with him in Ring of Honor, and then that whole thing went down the crapper around the same time period, right?
Yeah, it was really crazy. And when you just think about all that, all that happened, it was funny because they had such a high, just a couple weeks before. We're talking October or September 30th, 2019 was the first recorded episode of Power, and it aired on October the 8th. They went, through October, through November, through December, January, February. They were leading up to the Crockett Cup 2020, They canceled that show because of COVID. And they're like, I remember speaking to somebody within the NWA, and they were like, well, do you want to sit on your tickets or do you want a refund? And I was like, well, let's just sit on them because who knows how long this thing's going to be. And some of us really, like, when COVID first started happening, a lot of people didn't take it seriously. I didn't take it seriously at first.
Right.
Because I thought, well, this is just a flu. It's how bad can it be? And then, obviously they started canceling big world events and they started limiting where people could be and everything else. And then I sent an email saying, hey, can I get that refund? I want to shout out our boy Sean Mega, who is watching on TikTok. He says, Power is in a great place. The 20-year plan is going well. And our friend Archive Books Chronicle Diaries says 1,000 likes. Hey, thanks for all the likes on TikTok, guys. I do appreciate you. We are streaming both on, or not both, but we are streaming both, I guess, TikTok, YouTube, and Twitch. I'm sure I'll get in trouble for saying that on TikTok, but, it is what it is. Jaden, how are you, sir?
I am well. I apologize for being late. I had to deal with a work emergency.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
It was okay. It wasn't really an emergency. It was just people didn't know how to do something.
Well, that's an emergency sometimes.
Yes.
Jaden, you know what I did today? To recap, just now watching.
I missed what you said. What did you do today?
I went on
celebrated with Sami Zayn winning the WWE Championship.
You saw that video, huh?
Yeah.
I went to Tubi today to look for the NWA. In fact, I'm going to do it right now as we're talking, just to make sure that I'm not crazy here.
Is it 2B or not 2B?
That is the question, my friend. It's far better to love and lost than to have never loved at all.
Friends, Roman, countrymen, lend me your ears.
Country gentlemen?
Oh, yes. The tag team champions of the world.
Oh, by the way, did you hear my interview with Joe? AJ Kazana. I said Joe Kazana. With AJ Kazana earlier this week on Tuesday.
Only a few seconds of it talking about Jack Steen.
Oh, man. I just posted that clip up today.
Yes.
That was probably my favorite interview that I've done all year. I love AJ Kazana, and I know that he's worked up north with Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators. He was so kind to cut that video package for us that's a part of our show open. But such a good dude. And I feel like we're cut from the same cloth. Not that I was a successful football player or have the ability to coach football or ever stepped into a pro wrestling ring, but his mindset, I feel like, is great for the business and it's just an enjoyable person to speak to.
I think you might make a great side character in Banana Ball, though.
It's funny that you say that because we did talk about Banana Ball pretty extensively in that conversation. And it's, he's very familiar with Makoa. I call him Fallah Ball, but he calls him Makoa. And Jamie Stanley with the Firefighters. And but they're
Jazz.
What's that?
Ray Jazz is one too.
Is he really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But going back to the Tailgaters, it's the Country Gentleman in all of its incarnations and one other guy. And AJ was like, well, this, the other guy that's with us, he could be a pro wrestler. He looks like a pro wrestler. And I'm like, wow, that's great. You're recruiting right out of the Banana Ball League.
Banana Ball Professional Wrestling.
We spent some time talking about that. If you guys haven't listened to it yet, you could go to YouTube and check out the latest pre-party episode, or it will be up on the Alliance Blog podcast, which you can listen to on Spotify or any podcast listening device that you use, software that you use, whatever app that you use, and it'll be up there soon too. And it was a good interview. It's probably my favorite all year.
You have a favorite Banana Ball team, Rick?
I don't know what Banana Ball is. What the hell is it?
You don't know Banana Ball? What?
Not at all.
I mean, Jay just did the cartoon eyes and almost a spit take.
I almost did do the spit take.
I don't know what that. I've never heard of it before.
Banana Ball is how do I describe it? It's professional wrestling meets baseball.
It's
sports entertainment meets baseball. Sorry,
it's the Harlem Globetrotters of baseball.
Okay.
So
I like
when you
baseball
watch
and wrestling. So
Well, you know how you watch the Harlem Globetrotters, and they play, I think, one of two teams, the Generals and another team, and whenever they play, it's somewhat competitive. But at the end of the night, the Globetrotters are going to win, and they do trick shots. And both teams, play decent ball, but it's more about the tricks that the Globetrotters do and how they, interact with the fans. Banana Ball's like that, but to 11. It's a great fan experience where they really try to keep the fans engaged the entire time. The players on the field literally get rewarded for doing trick catches. Like you'll see guys will do flips to catch a routine fly ball just to make it fun and interesting. They one time brought out a batter who was like 80 years old. They struck him out, by the way.
John Cena was a batter. They signed professional baseball players. They have people are straight out of college baseball. It's basically the baseball is real. All the histrionics and glamour and glitz and sizzle is all added to it.
And did you ever watch The Sandlot?
Of course.
One of the best baseball movies of all time. The kids playing ball, and the Great Bambino or Hambino, I guess is what they called him.
Yeah.
So he showed up when the Banana Ball team came to Anaheim Stadium, which is where I go to watch baseball. He came out and took some at bats during the live game, and
really,
and it was like the crowd went nuts for it, and then the pitcher that helped the Angels win the 2002 World Series, John Lackey, who spent some time with the Boston Red Sox, he also came in and like pitched for an inning. So like they do a lot of crossover where they're trying to get Hollywood celebrities and famous baseball players to just play an inning, and it's fun. It's a good time. And they also have like I think I'd be remiss if I called it cheerleading, but it basically just a group of guys that kind of get you into the game a little bit. And so the Texas Tailgaters have a foursome of Anthony Andrews, AJ Kazana, Casey Kazana, and this other guy. And so they're all jacked up wrestlers, and they just are trying to get the fans into the game, and they do goofy stuff to try to encourage the engagement with the audience. It's if you ever get a chance, and I think it's on Disney Plus, check out some of their games. It's wild. It's not baseball, but it's very close.
I'm gonna have to check it out.
It's very entertaining, and they're all about making sure every second of the game has some kind of something entertaining. They have sing-alongs. They have, what do they call them? Beef leaders or something like that? The guys, they have a special, some kind of weird name for it, but they're basically like they're male cheerleaders in a way, but not like the Spirit Squad. They're just like they're all pro wrestlers except for like a few of them.
Okay.
And
I know the firefighters have Jamie Stanley, and they also have J-Rod, who worked for United Wrestling Network. She's done some stuff with AEW, ROH, and I want to say she showed up for one NWA event, but I don't know that 100% sure.
And like I said, Ray Jazz is another one.
And Makoa.
Yeah.
He works with the Islanders. Go figure.
Wow.
Wow. Wow.
Jaden, are you a fan of Ray Jazz?
Yes, former Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators champion.
Is he really? When did this happen? Recently?
No.
Oh.
Pre-pandemic. Actually.
Really?
He was won it pre-pandemic. He lost it to Eric Martin. He beat
I should really pay attention to things.
I can't remember. Ray Jazz beat a wrestler in a match because for interim championship because Breaker Moran couldn't make it because of injury, and then because of injury, he graduated to being the full-time champion because Breaker was injured. And then when Breaker came back, They unfortunately the rematch never happened. It was always something that caused it to not happen. But yeah. So Ray Jazz is a former dog champion, and he's the illegitimate son of Little Guido / Nunzio.
Well, and I know you
That's what
don't
knew.
know.
Yes.
I know you don't know this, Jaden, but Nunzio is part of the Gotham Wrestling, which
Yes.
is the United Wrestling Network, and they play up their relationship. We need to get the wrestling history for Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators updated on Cage Match, because they show Ray Jazz losing the title to Eric Martin, successfully defending against Richard Holiday, and having another successful defense against Rhett Titus.
Yep.
And those were all post-pandemic matches.
Well, yeah, but I mean, he won it pre-pandemic.
Yeah. And he made, it was funny because I interviewed him about, I think it was WrestleMania 2022, and then he started appearing at Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, and I'm like, dude, why didn't you tell me you were coming here? Because this is the promotion that I cover the most. It's literally in my backyard. And now he's like a big star with the United Wrestling Network. He'll be challenging for the United Wrestling Network television title on, I believe it's July. I'll have to look it up. No, let me look here. I have it on my calendar.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I think the
July 12th on Sunday Night Slam, which you could watch right here on this channel.
Ooh. I will tell you that I would look forward to watching that show each and every time they have it monthly, correct? And I make sure to watch it on your channel over their channel. So, just for the record.
And I appreciate that. I appreciate everyone who watches Sunday Night Slam right here on the Alliance blog. It's a great show, and the production values are great. They use some really good talent. The aforementioned Ray Jazz, former dog heavyweight champion, and they've used Richard Holiday. They've used Alexander Hammerstone. They've used, of course, Chris Adonis. Actually, I checked that. They didn't use Hammerstone. He wasn't able to make it. Adonis filled in for him. They've used
Hammerstone in the past, though.
Yeah. And I'm sure they'll use him again at some point in the future. They've used TJ Perkins. They used they've used some pretty good talent in at Sunday Night Slam.
Yeah.
They should use Primal Fear and Miss Gabby Ortiz.
I put in a word for Miss Gabby Ortiz for Gotham.
Sure you did.
No, I sent some video of her that was supplied to me by the office, and I said, hey, Gotham Wrestling could use more talented females, and this is a very talented female.
Was on the trainee and alumni of the Monster Factory. Was on that Monster Factory documentary. World Wrestling.
They did heavily on Bobby Buffet on that Monster Factory documentary, didn't they?
Bobby Buffet was one of them. Goldie, the current World Wrestling Grand Prix champion, and of course Gabby, the World Wrestling Grand Prix Women's champion, who hopefully will be defending that Women's Championship if there's not stupid thunderstorms.
Stupid thunderstorms?
Yeah, but July 4th we're supposed to have thunderstorms. No, but we're supposed to have an event this Saturday.
Oh, I'm sorry. Event, not show. Sorry.
We're supposed to have an event this Saturday, but it looks like Thundercats, they're going to ruin it all together. Hopefully not.
It's
an outdoor event.
Backyard, so that's going to get ruined.
Yes. We're supposed to have fireworks and professional wrestling and food trucks and live music and games and 100-degree temperatures, and it all is getting ruined by, hopefully not, but it's likely to get ruined by thunderstorms. And the main event is Gabby Ortiz defending the World Wrestling Grand Prix Women's Champion against WWE ID superstar Sloane Jacobs, who's recently now been accompanying the WWE ID Women's Champion Nikita Lyons as her second.
Oh, is that with that whole Natalia gimmick too?
Natalia gimmick?
Yeah, I guess Nattie Neidhart showed up with NXT with I don't know all the details, but from what I heard,
this is Evolve ID, whatever.
Yeah, so WWE ID is the independent talents that are allowed to work anywhere, but also still work for Evolve.
Yes,
and then whenever WWE wants them, and then Evolve is Evolve, where NXT talents will pop up there as well, like Nikita Lyons.
If
And
they
then-
like them enough, they'll put them on NXT TV.
Yeah.
If they like them enough. Like they teamed, the hell's the name? The Vanity Project up with, I think they teamed them up with Ricky Saints for a brief period on
That makes
NXT.
sense.
I don't know. I only paid attention because Brad Baylor's in the team. So it's really, I don't watch NXT normally, so I only watch when I know he's going to be on. So
I would like to watch NXT more, but I cannot stand the CWF.
it's a rough watch to watch NXT, to be honest with you. It's
Is it? I don't even, oh, yeah, that's right. Booker T's a commentator. That's another reason why I don't watch it.
He hasn't been on. He hasn't been on, apparently, according to news that I've heard recently. But I haven't. Like I said, I don't normally tune in. So, but because they just made like some news just came out saying they're supposed to be returning soon. I had no idea he was on.
Ducky, ducky, quack, quack.
As I'm
commentary, yeah.
Again, as I'm looking at the Tubi website, I can watch AEW there. I can watch Evolve there. I can watch AEW Dynamite there. I can even watch the NWA and E Kings of Compton documentary, but I can't watch the National Wrestling Alliance. And that was promised to me. Social media said that the NWA was coming to Tubi, but I guess they're just not there yet because it's not on.
Or it might be on the wrong station because there's a lot of Tubi. Can you find a Godzilla station? Is there still a Godzilla Tubi station? Because that was the last Tubi thing I watched.
So I'm
That's
not.
right.
Well, they do have a live streaming service, like a
Yeah.
continuous. Is it considered fast channel? I don't know what it's considered.
I just found the World Cup. So as I put on the live TV, like there's AEW on all the time. There's Love Island. Is that really a thing?
It really is. Don't even get into it because I got to hear my wife and her sister talk about it all the time on the phone.
I have no plans of getting into it.
It just don't.
There's Fubo Sports. There's HBO Boxing. There's BN Sports. There's Bare Knuckle Boxing. But still, I don't see anything NWA related. Def Jam, Maverick, Black Cinema.
I'm looking at it now myself.
Yeah, Nash Bridges. They got a Nash Bridges channel. Johnny
I'm
Carson.
on it.
Dude, let's cancel this podcast. They have a Baywatch channel. I know what I'm doing after the show.
Get
Kidding.
the baby oil.
David Hasselhoff?
Rick, some people stand in the darkness, afraid to step into the light. We have too much fun on here sometimes.
It's okay. I'm trying to think of what else they got. I know that because it's similar to like places like Pluto and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, which I watch that because they got a Family Ties channel. So
you're a Family Ties fan?
Yes. Oh, hell yeah.
Big Tina Young.
Keaton?
I'm sorry. Yeah, Alex B. Keaton. I'd sit. There's plenty of times I'll just sit there and watch that all night long. That or sometimes they'll just stream on the regular sitcom channel. This is my favorite now. Perfect Strangers for hours. And I'll sit there and watch that. So. I'm an 80s
Of
kid.
course you do. Don't be ridiculous.
I am also like, this is the greatest era for sitcoms was the 1980s. So,
It's just the 10 of us on there?
Oh my God.
No, I haven't. I have not come across that. I'm sure we could find that somewhere.
He was the basketball coach, right?
He was the coach, and he was also the drama teacher, and he was the football coach, and there was the Lubbock Babes.
If he had 10 kids, then I'd be.
Yeah. Well, he didn't have 10 kids. It was 8 kids and 2 parents.
Wow.
Hence just the 10 of us. Real quick, late breaking news. News. ABC's on TikTok just said that book just came back this week.
Sorry. Okay.
I'm sorry to hear that. Anyway, I was totally a Cindy Lubbock.
I will not be hearing it. Yeah.
I was totally a Cindy Lubbock mark.
Of course you were.
She was my first. Right? Yeah, she was a redhead. Yeah, she was my favorite Lubbock babe. But I also am a huge fan of Heather Langenkamp.
I don't know who that is. I don't know who any of these people are.
Did I lose you? There we go. Heather Langenkamp. I love Nightmare on Elm Street. And only 3 out of the 4 Lubbock babes were on Nightmare on Elm Street. Only one it wasn't was Cindy.
this is way more information than I was willing to get into.
I'm sorry,
tonight.
Jay. We're gonna have to take a left turn. Go ahead and tell me this. What are you talking about? They were all. I thought there was just one of them was in the
3 out of 4
series.
Three out of 4 were Lubbock Babes. Obviously, Heather Langenkamp was the main one from Nightmare on Elm Street 1.
Yes.
And then a couple 3, and then a couple after that. Which, by the way, that one movie they made where Freddy Krueger wasn't really Freddy Krueger, but they were talking about Freddy Krueger, and they were all like their actors, and there was a stalker that was actually based on some real life situation that happened to Heather Langenkamp.
Jesus.
Are you talking about
Final Nightmare or whatever?
Yeah, it was started the girl from the first movie came back, and it was all. They couldn't all of a sudden they couldn't get in touch with Robert Englund and all that, mysteriously.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. They were all playing themselves. Yeah. I saw that in the theater. I almost died in a car accident that night.
Did Freddy almost get you?
No, somebody just pulled right out in front of me, and I just remember slamming on the brakes and literally just did a spin out, and the person just like, sorry, and just kept moving. Like, that was it. I was like, you almost killed me, literally. So
to go back to that, by the way, but like I said, that is actually based on something that really happened with Heather Langenkamp, where a stalker was trying to kill her because he thought Marie Lubbock was a real person.
And then that's what generated the whole Scream franchise, right?
Maybe, I don't know, but yeah, Heather Langenkamp was in the original, and all the other sequels that popped out of that. Brooke Thies was in it. She's the one that got turned into a cockroach and crushed in the Roach Motel. And Joanna Willett was a minor character in that movie. She was like a side character or something like that.
My favorite one was the Dream Warriors.
Dream Warriors. By the way, that Dream Warriors theme song is the same people that did Into the Fire.
Mm-hmm.
Dokken?
Yeah.
Dokken.
Is it Dokken?
Dokken, yeah.
Dokken. Yes, I thought you were messing with me.
No, I didn't listen to that kind of music growing up. I didn't start listening to like metal until like I was like a junior in high school. And of course I was listening to like all the grunge stuff, but I started getting into like Megadeth and Metallica and Pantera and all that stuff, Suicidal Tendencies. I know that's more punk. Anyways, I didn't start getting into that music until like junior high school. So I missed out on all the 80s like hair bands. Like I wasn't really into Dokken. And so I always thought it was Dokken because no one ever taught me better.
It doesn't matter who you think it is. Nobody you mention is as good as Dr. Geach and the Shrimp Shack Shooters.
This is true. Our good friend Matt Underwood said he actually pitched the Scream movie back in '94 at one of the nicest restaurants on Rodeo Drive. That's an inside joke. If you guys know, you know. Speaking of pitching shows, the other thing to talk about is, Sean Mega says, I love the Spice Girls as well. I did love the Spice Girls. Jerry Spice, man. Scary Spice.
I didn't like Scary Spice then, but as I got older, I realized that how nice Scary Spice was.
My wife and I had a discussion, and it didn't involve me getting murdered, so that was great, about who was the prettiest Spice Girl. And growing up, I loved Jerry. I loved Ginger Spice. She was gorgeous. She's the epitome of what I thought a beautiful woman looked like. But as I got older, Scary Spice, man, Mel B.
Yeah.
She's phenomenal. All right, getting back to the topic at hand, the news coming out of the NWA this week is that they're now taking auditions for a new NWA reality TV program that will air on Comet, and it is going to be basically, they're calling the show Into the Fire, but essentially what it is what Circled Square was in the first season of Power. They're going to be introducing either unknown independent wrestlers or people with no background in pro wrestling who are trying to get a deal with the NWA. And if you think this sounds familiar, it is. We've seen this before with the WWE, with the Tough Enough competition, or the Ultimate Fighter with UFC. This is, akin to that. And everybody's favorite Brian Idol is said to be the architect of this new program, and that our friend Matt Underwood said in the chat that he pitched this idea couple years ago in Rodeo Drive. So, Sean Mega says it might be a huge success. I think it's an interesting concept for the NWA. It is definitely deviating from what I'm looking for with wrestling programming is actual wrestling. The NWA, I feel like, has a pretty solid roster of talent. Some of the booking could be better. I think we can all agree to that. Some of the match pacing could be better. I think we can all agree to that. I don't know that I needed another hour of NWA programming that wasn't specifically more wrestling. And Jaden, I'll ask you. I know you grew up in a time and place and an age where you could watch pro wrestling almost every night of the week.
Yeah.
Is something that the NWA needs to do is to bring in a reality TV idea?
No, but at least it's content and it's wrestling-esque. It's wrestling adjacent. Not wrestling you. I'm not wrestling a Jason, but it's wrestling adjacent. I mean, yeah, it's an NXT or Tough Enough or whatever want to be. But in reality, if there's a lot of wrestling and these people can become stars, very many of the Tough Enough ended up getting into the WWE that didn't win. In fact, some of the ones who didn't win had better success than those who did. John Morrison's the only one that won that did, but I mean, let's talk about the Miz. He didn't win. He had more success. Ryback.
That's right. I forgot that he was in there.
There's quite a few of them. Maurice, maybe won, but maybe didn't have a lot of success. But it's maybe these guys can get some notice and become bigger stars. I hated it, but the WWE Divas thing they did on what was that, Entertainment Network? A lot of those women got bigger stars because of that. The Bella Twins being two of them. Oh, you know what? Speaking of bigger stars, I actually forgot to tell you. Did you know DK was actually originally in the Spice Girls band?
Old Spice?
Yeah, he was Old Spice.
Jesus. That's terrible.
I figured anybody would appreciate that joke. It wouldn't be DK.
That's true. I think again, I think this could play out in a positive for the NWA because one show that I never watched was the Divas, right? I never watched a single episode of the Divas. I take it back. I watched one episode and it was forced on me. I was at somebody else's house and that's what they were watching. But I know people today that are watching pro wrestling that got into pro wrestling because of that Divas show. And I don't know if that is going to resonate with wrestling fans the way the Divas did. Obviously, if this show is packed with hot chicks, then maybe I could see where it might develop its own fan base like Divas did. But if it's just like the Ultimate Fighter, DK might be listening in, Jaden. If it's anything like the Ultimate Fighter or anything like the original Tough Enough program, I mean, I could still see some merit in it. And like you said, it was a way to develop stars, to develop personalities. And it's, the other part of that is these guys are getting locked up into a contract. So whoever wins is going to be under contract to the NWA for at least a short time. I don't know how long the contracts are set up for, but I feel like there could be some good from this. Rick, what do you think about this? How do you feel about a reality show for the NWA?
To be honest, seriously?
Yeah, 100%.
I don't think you realize the hatred I have for reality TV, whether it's sports-based, whether it's be anything like that. I mean, and that's the thing is, no offense to my wife, but she watches a lot of it. It's so stressful to watch because it's like, who's fighting with who's arguing over God knows what.
Right.
Somebody gave somebody. So, but the thing with this is it's pro wrestling based. It's like the other thing with this is the NWA, I think, should be concentrating on putting out more content and stepping up their game as opposed to putting on a reality TV show. Is it a bad thing? Not necessarily. You know what I mean? You're going to get some kids out there that apply. I've seen some of the applications already, some of the videos. People are posting them on their social media. The NWA is retweeting them. Some people are, I don't know if you guys have seen any of them at all.
Nope.
A couple people I know have actually applied and put them, and I've seen their videos as well. So more power to them. So, in that light, I guess it's not necessarily a bad thing because I would like to see some of these people up there on my television. Anytime I see somebody that I know and that I've done work with, et cetera, on my television, whether it be NWA, background character in WWE, I'm very excited for them and that experience. So, that kind of a thing.
The NWA tweeted about it on July 1st. Do you have what it takes to step into the fire? The opportunity of a lifetime begins now for just 8 contestants looking to ensure their chance to join the National Wrestling Alliance roster and earn a professional wrestling contract. Submissions are now being accepted for the new competition series, NWA's Into the Fire, which will air on Comet at a later date to be determined in 2026. These 8 individuals will have the chance to live their dream, but only one will ultimately earn a professional contract from the man himself, NWA President CEO William Patrick Corgan. Apply today to secure your spot and get ready for August 21st and 22nd in Tampa, Florida, as the search for a future NWA star begins.
Is this going to be on Comet, or is this going to be on the Comet TV app?
That is a great question, and I don't really have that answer for you.
I was making kind of a joke. I think I flew over your head.
Oh, because yes, I get it, for the CW app.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I think this will be on a Comet proper.
Yes.
There's not, like, if you go and look at the Comet website, and I'm not trying to trash them at all. They've been great partners for the NWA. They are sharing the videos. They're sharing out the schedule and things like that to try to help get more viewers into the NWA.
They're very happy with what they've gotten with the NWA. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which, that's great news, right? I think that's good for everybody.
Absolutely.
So I do believe that this show will be featured as a primetime show for them. I wouldn't be surprised if it's on a Tuesday night or something like that, because when you look at it, what does Comet have to lose? If that Comet becomes a NWA channel, which it's not going to, but if it did, what are they losing out on? How many
You run the Texas Walker Ranger.
How many people are still watching Xena every week? That show was out 30 years ago.
I love Gabriella. Yes.
I don't know what's on there other than sci-fi movies, so I wouldn't. I just thought it was old sci-fi stuff, right?
I'm glad you asked. I'll pull it up right now.
Walker, Texas Ranger, Eureka, the Librarians,
Stargate SG-1, Grimm.
Why is Blue Pants and the guy from California on Comet, by the way?
What are you talking about?
The Librarians.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Womp womp.
You know what I'm talking about? The guy from California? What's his name?
Peter Avalon?
Yeah.
Pretty Peter?
Yeah. He was one of the Librarians, right?
Yeah.
Oh, it took me a second to realize what you. Yeah. Okay.
So
I was throwing joke grenades today.
Yeah, fortunately, horseshoes and hand grenades, you just have to get close.
Yeah, the nuclear war. By the way, sometime around the nuclear war, there was definitely, when they were dropping the bomb in in Los Alamos, New Mexico, and stuff like that. There was a convenience store that had a perfectly cooked frozen pizza.
Where's the punchline?
I thought, you got to think that somewhere in that explosion, there was a convenience store that got a perfectly cooked. They were just far enough to get a perfectly cooked frozen pizza.
Now, did they even have frozen pizzas back in the 1940s?
They had TV dinners then. I would assume they had frozen pizza.
That's when TV dinners were invented. But yeah.
Real quick, our pal Dodie says, I actually like Tough Enough, or excuse me, The Ultimate Fighter, and I'm always thinking, had the NWA ever had an Ultimate Fighter-like show? If the product itself had UFC-like competition feel, not full of nonsense skits like we already have, look, if we can replace the silly skits with more wrestling, I'm all right with that.
Yes.
And Matthew Underwood said the best part about of it is that the Architect will get more airtime. Did you guys notice that the name of the show was called The Architect?
I did.
For shits and giggles.
I did. Yes.
What episode was that?
This episode that we're live right now is titled. Every podcast that we do, every Alliance Guys podcast has a subtitle, and this week was The Architect. Last week was I don't remember. Now I don't know. I'll find out for you. That's what I do here.
Has the subtitle ever been Jaden makes dumb jokes?
No, but that probably will be. Last week was
episode.
Yeah, last week was the history repeats, and then the week before was Thrilled Across the World, and then it was Free Agency, and then it was And Here We Are, and then it was Touchdown NWA,
and the Southern Six equals money got us in trouble.
Yeah, well, because DKM was ripping on Alex Taylor.
I was actually.
Oh.
I was, and what I said, I'll stand by it. What I said then was 100% true. It is definitely not true anymore. But at that time, at that episode, based on what was showed, that was Alex Taylor got mad because he called us out because he listened to the very first episode he ever listened to of the Alliance Guys podcast was called the Southern Six equals money, and I was trash talking that 2 out of the 3 members of the Southern Six were really good, but one of them was not as in the same quality as the other 2. And again, at that time, based on that episode, I was 100% true. And I also trashed the fact that they called him the Southern Six was stupid. The name was stupid, and I still agree with that one. But I do have my opinion changed. Alex Taylor has proved himself from that point afterwards.
The link is in the chat if you guys ever want to go back and watch an old episode of the Alliance Guys. So it was kind of funny. I think it was, again, 2 weeks ago, Alex Taylor and our boy
Jeremiah Plunkett.
Yeah, thank you. My brain totally went blank, and I love JP, and I couldn't think of his name.
Yeah, sorry, sure.
JP. No,
that guy. Oh, a guy I love. What's his name? Yeah, I love him a lot. I think he's the greatest ever. What's his name?
Dude, something's wrong with me. Never mind. We can't talk about that on the air.
I believe in the avocado.
And maybe it's the avocado. Jeremiah Plunkett and Alex Taylor were stuck in an airport in Canada and decided they'd jump on the Alliance Guys for a bit. And we just were chit-chatting while they were in the airport. And Taylor was like, it was real fun coming on your pre-party and everything, but I got to call you guys out. I mean, you guys weren't too kind to Alex Taylor. You guys did an episode of your podcast first time I listened in, and you didn't say so many nice things about us. And I was like, really?
And it was me.
Yeah.
I'll take the blame because at the time, if I had on that episode, I was 100% right what they showed right then and there. Since then, he has made me eat crow. But if that episode was only thing you saw Alex Taylor on, you would not be an Alex Taylor fan.
And again, going back in I'm always posting clips and stuff that I've posted before. It's like in the history of on this day on TikTok, you always see me post stories and stuff. And I recently had a story where it was Harry Smith power slamming Alex Taylor in the Crockett Cup. And that was a Crockett Cup where Alex Taylor teamed with Jeremiah Plunkett as the ill-begotten. And although I love Danny Dills, I love Jeremiah Plunkett, and I love Alex Taylor, that group never really got any positive momentum in the NWA. First, it was they got rid of Captain Yuma, and then they were stuck with Rush Freeman. And I think there was a lot of potential for Rush Freeman, but not as part of the ill-begotten. And if they were to have restarted that whole group again and done more of a Tennessee thing, I think that group could have been something special. But as it was, it was a mid-card group to throw guys into to see what would work. I think if they were to put that group together today of Alex Taylor and Jeremiah Plunkett with Danny Dills being their manager, I think it would be pretty entertaining. Now, with that being said, our buddy Sean Mega on TikTok says Alex Taylor is a workhorse.
Yeah. Again, I was wrong. I was right in that moment. I've been wrong since.
And I think
he has showed me since then that I was, if I again, If that was the only thing I ever saw Alex Taylor, I would not have been an Alex Taylor fan. But since then, he has made me a fan.
And game recognizes game. I'm going to shout out Jaden for one, saying, hey, I'm sticking to what I said. And two, over time, he's proved me wrong.
Yeah.
I respect you for saying that, because some people will be like, well, I never said that. And, and just try to, push the blame onto somebody else. And, or say, well, it was because of me. I motivated him to do better. No, he did better, and he deserves the acclaim he gets now. And, Jaden wasn't a big fan then, and that's okay.
There are times like you didn't like who was some of that one I talked about that you did not say, and then all of a sudden you got he's former NWA Junior Heavyweight Champion.
Yeah, Jason Kincaid.
Jason Kincaid, yeah. I said forever Jason Kincaid was great, and you guys couldn't see it. And then all of a sudden you saw it.
It was the accent. It was the accent and the fact that he had a beer belly. And I'm like, what am I supposed to do with this guy? You're a junior heavyweight, you got a beer belly? And then you see him work, and you're like, oh my God, this guy's incredible. He's a phenomenal worker. But Jaden had seen him, a lot. I had only seen him maybe once watching Mountain State, and I wasn't impressed. But the more you see him, and especially with his matches with Chase Owens, I mean, that guy was very, very good. Archive says, Jay, if it makes you feel better, I have conversations like that with Jaden all of the time. I think about I don't know. Archive, give me some context. I don't know for sure what you meant. Sean Mega says NWA has some really good talent. I agree. I think right now the NWA has some really solid talent. That doesn't mean that with the Into the Fire show, maybe they find the next big name in pro wrestling. Maybe they find somebody that can extend the reach of the National Wrestling Alliance. I'll be honest, I'm a little skeptical about it, but I've been wrong before, and I'd love to be wrong again.
They bring in so many talents anyway that are there for the very first time and getting championship matches, or all of a sudden have a competitive match and you have no idea who they are. You've never seen them before. Maybe at least these wrestlers will all get shots and we'll know who they are now.
Matthew Underwood said Circle Squared was the better concept. A lot of their problems could be solved if they just went back to the original formula. I agree. Circle Squared was good, and we only got 2 episodes of that, and I feel like they could have done more with it. And to what Jaden was saying earlier, or what he was saying just now about talents and coming in and having opportunities. I think it was last week or maybe 2 weeks ago, the Voodoo Queen, Gina Sias Koi, I'm sure I'm not pronouncing that right, but the Voodoo Queen, she came into the NWA and she got a shot at Tiffany Nieves and the Burke. And I thought she was fantastic, and I hope to see more of her in the NWA again. But we didn't know who she was. She just showed up and was in a title match. And, I understand, like, if someone has some name recognition, maybe they worked in the WWE or AEW, and they're in the zeitgeist of pro wrestling. We know who they are. They're well-established names. If they come in to get a title shot, I don't feel like that's a bad thing. And with all due respect to my new favorite female wrestler, the Voodoo Queen, I think that in time she's going to be great. She's everything that I wanted from Hera, right? Like, she's got a very over-the-top gimmick. She has a great look. I think she could be very interesting in the NWA, but I don't think she should have had a title match, her first match in the NWA.
Right.
I thought your favorite woman wrestler was Gabby Ortiz right now.
I said in the NWA.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. I missed that part.
Because I have had a vacancy in my heart since Ella Envy left.
Yes.
And
Ella Envy had all the assets to be your favorite woman wrestler in the NWA.
They haven't brought Big Mama back. I'm a big Mama fan.
There's a Big Mama?
No, I am a big Mama fan. I'm a big Mama fan.
You've lost a lot of weight. You're not big at all.
Thank you for saying that. I appreciate that. I do. I appreciate that. Sean Mega says, I just don't trust Brian Idol, though. And Matthew Underwood says, if this show is successful, we could also expect the adventures of Vance Vanity for more Comet TV original programming. Now, again, if you know, you know. These are one of the things where if you're on our Discord, your eyes sometimes get stained by things, and we got something that I didn't want to see with a alias of Brian Idol, Vance Vanity, and I'm sorry that I had to see it, and I won't post it here because I don't want to get banned. But yeah, Matthew Underwood said, "Shit, those three looked awesome at this year's Squared Circle Expo. Looks like the old saying, if you want to fix power, push Jack Stain, push the ill-begotten." Yeah, and I think he's talking about Danny Deals, Alex Taylor, and Jeremiah Plunkett. I didn't watch this year's Squared Circle Expo. I was out of the country for that, but I watched it last year and I enjoyed it thoroughly. So yeah, we were kind of bouncing all over the place. We started off this week's episode talking about, shoot, I don't even remember what we were talking about. We were talking about
pizza.
No, we didn't talk about pizza this week. We were talking about how the NWA has not debuted on Tubi yet, but that was announced and it should happen soon. That led to us talking about the new reality show, and of course, in between there, we sprinkled in some Nightmare on Elm Street talk and sitcoms
Just
from the
10
80s.
of us.
Just the 10 of us, yeah, of course.
And then I'm a Cindy Brady Mark.
Where the Just the 10 of us, where they came from, where they originated.
Growing Pains.
Jaden.
The spin-off of Growing Pains.
I remember that because he was the coach.
Yes. And the drama teacher. And also Bill, what's his last name? Bill something Burr?
Bill Riley.
Hackenberg or something like that. What was that? Whatever his last name is. Bill, the guy, the comedian, the father. He was also on a show called okay, Bill what?
I don't know. I thought you were referring to somebody else.
Bill Kirkenbauer, or something like that. He was on a show called America Tonight, which was a spin-off of Fernwood Tonight, which is a spin-off of Mary Hartman and Mary Hartman.
Jesus Christ, man.
I'm going old school.
I don't know about you. You need to write a book or something. Like,
his name was Bill Kirshner.
No, Kirkenbauer or something like that.
Okay, I just clicked on it and it went away. Bill Kirkenbauer. You were correct.
Yeah.
Sir.
Yeah, he was a stand-up comedian. He was also multiple times on the Tonight Show.
Gotcha.
Do you have his IMDb memorized?
No, I just don't. I just randomly know this stuff. I don't know why. Probably, honestly, it's probably because randomly TikTok shows sitcom stuff, and then I'll watch things you don't know about something, and then I end up. It's usually part 6, so I have to find part 1, and I find part 1, and I go watch that and go all the way up, and then next thing you know, I watch 7 hours of random TikTok things, and then they stop halfway through, so then I have to find the YouTube video.
Yeah, we're very similar in that way. I'm sorry. I'll be doing that. I'll wake up and start working, and then next thing you know, on TikTok with stuff like that about things of sitcoms you didn't know existed or some crap.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, so the crazy thing about that is, as I'm looking at this guy's IMDb, Bill is probably best known for his hilarious characterization of Tony Rolletti, a lounge singer on the satirical. Thank you. Talk show America Tonight, singing off key with a wig that constantly falls out of place. Rolletti's character consummated with his marriage to another lounge singer and a wedding officiated by a Yiddish rabbi.
Isn't that redundant?
This guy was born in 1953 in Austria. Okay. But 1953, think about it. I was born in 78. This guy's 25 years older than me. Because he looked like 100 when I was a kid.
Well, everybody looked old when we were kids. That's the thing. Look at the Golden Girls. They're only in their 40s or something like that.
They were in their early 50s, except for Blanche, who was 47. Like, what? I'm 47, Blanche. Get out of the retirement home.
Yeah, it's so crazy because people that age now, us, basically, we look better than a lot of people did our age then in the 80s.
I just realized something. All right.
Yes.
Ready? Are you ready for this? Jay, you're Blanche. Rick, you're Rose. I am Dorothy, and DK is Sophia.
Oh my God!
Oh God!
I hope he's not watching right now.
Picture this.
I hope he is. He's gonna be signing in 2 seconds.
He's gonna watch it.
The Platinum Boys.
What exactly does he want you to watch, by the way?
Power? I'm not going to.
Into the Fire.
No.
Matthew Underwood said soft, je ne sais quoi. Je ne sais quoi?
Why did Jenna say qua? What does qua mean? Why did Jenna say it?
Are you working on a dad joke?
I don't know. I'm just being me.
Yeah. Matthew Underwood also said Big Mama is great on Sunday Night Slam. You know what the thing is, and I didn't know how over Big Mama was going to be when she showed up in Irvine. The first time she wrestled in Southern California, well, not the first time in Southern California, but the first time for Championship Wrestling in Irvine, the fans resonated with her. She was very, very over. And I was surprised. Not that I didn't think she would be. Damn. Sorry. DK said, "You're so dead."
Emotionally, especially.
Oh my God. I didn't know how over Big Mama was going to be. I was pleasantly surprised, and I was rooting for her because, again, she was at the time, she was the NWA women's television champion and tag team champion. So I wanted her to succeed. And I introduced myself to her before the show, and she's like, whatever with this loser. But then she actually like talked to me afterwards. We set up the first interview, and she even told me off record, which I probably shouldn't say now. She's like, I don't know why they liked me so much. And I go, authenticity, man. You were just yourself. You don't look like you're playing a character. You look like you're just a cranky woman who's pissed. And that's easy to resonate, especially in California. So she got over in Long Beach. And then I think also the choice of opponents that they've used for her. A lot of the girls are a lot smaller in stature, and it makes Mama look even bigger. And it works. It works. Whatever they're doing, it works.
I'll be right back. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'll mute myself.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll pull you off screen for a second. Oh,
RDS. Oh, Rick Del Santo.
You didn't.
I read it first before I realized why it was there. I just thought it was like an error message, like for his camera or something like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Jamming Music Man said, "Thanks for being a friend."
Thank you for being a friend.
We'll need to get a new theme song for the show. I had a conversation today about expanding the reach of the Alliance guys, and I'm sure this is the first episode that my new friends will be watching, and they'll be like, yeah, this is the content we want on our channel for sure.
You got to admit, though, I'm a hilarious person.
Oh, that's the only reason why you're on here.
I know. Not my wrestling knowledge or my years of experience or my apparently my lack of ability to talk right now. No, it's my humor.
You in 2019 were so fed up with the NWA that you stopped watching it completely.
Yes.
And you left, and DK left, and I brought in Kevin to come in, Kevin Douglas, Kevin Frazier, to come in and be my co-host, because you guys both were like, we're fed up with this NWA, we're done. And when you came back, you weren't even watching it until probably like when it came on TikTok, right? I think that's when you really started getting into watching it again.
TikTok?
No, I'm sorry, X, Twitter.
I didn't watch it on anything I had to pay for, and I quit multiple times watching it, so it probably was X. And I wouldn't watch it for a while, then you guys dragged me back in.
But that's what I'm saying. Like your knowledge about pro wrestling is absolutely a resource for the Alliance guys, because not only have you competed inside the ring, but you've dealt with the politics outside of the ring. You know what it's like to work with talent, to promote live events, to have spinning all those plates. That's what makes you the resource for the show. It's not your feedback on the NWA, because for a while there you weren't even watching it, and people even ask me, why is Jaden on the show? He doesn't watch the product. I go, because he knows wrestling. You don't have to watch the show to know wrestling. And if I have a question about why did the NWA do this or that or the other thing, a lot of times you have a pretty reasonable answer as to why. It's not always like, well, I don't know. You have educated understanding of the NWA, of promoting live events, answers that I don't have. And on the surface, something might look stupid to me, and you could rationalize it because of your experience in the industry, your experience in television. I don't have that experience, but you're here because you're funny.
Yeah.
You make
and I
laugh.
speak jive.
And you speak.
And I speak jive.
Yeah, say it again. One more time.
I learned it from Barbara Billingsley.
At my gym, that movie has been on multiple times, so I'll be in there on the treadmill watching it.
Surely you can't be serious.
Don't call me Shirley. My favorite part is when the manual pilot is deflating, and the stewardess is trying to blow it back up, and
he smokes a cigarette.
Yeah, Leslie Nielsen comes in and he's like, "Oh," and then he turns around.
Leslie Nielsen was a serious actor before that movie.
It wasn't afterwards.
No.
Oh my God, Matthew Underwood. Okay, so her name is Je ne sais quoi. That is the Voodoo Queen's name. I feel like a moron now. Okay.
I still don't know why she said qua.
Jesus.
Is she related to genocide?
Whatever happened to her?
I don't know. Whatever happened to unpredictability?
Wait, that's the Family Matters, right?
Yeah. Whatever happened to unpredictability?
Shout out to
TV. No, that was Full House.
Oh,
right?
Full House.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Everywhere you look.
Yeah.
Oh,
I had to sing it in my head before I figured it out.
Jamming Music Man said, "Cut me some skin, blood."
I love that movie.
I think that'll get you shot if you said that in Los Angeles.
Yes, I would.
Aaron, if you're still watching, thanks for watching. Appreciate you watching us on TikTok.
When I was younger and during the summer, I had a lot of time before I would go out and play, wait for my friends to wake up because I was always awake before they were. So I'd watch Prism, which was our premium channel that was local to the Philadelphia area, where the Phillies games used to play on and the Flyers games and stuff like that. And there was a period of time that every single day of the summer, they played Back to the Future 1, 2, 3. They played Body Slam. They played Back to the Beach. And they played, I can't remember, there's one other movie. There were six movies. Well, I counted it as 4 because I count Back to the Future 1, 2, and 3 as one movie. But there was like 6 movies that played every single day on Prism. And I used to watch them every single day, especially the ultimate classic that is Back to the Beach and Body Slam.
Which one's Back to the Beach? Is that with the
Annette Funicello and Frankie Avalon?
The one they did in the 80s, right? The reunion to all the beach movies from the 60s.
Yeah, it was a parody of all the beach movies that they used to actually do. And because the reason I thought about that is because the Aunt Becky was in that movie, believe it or not.
Yeah, I believe it. She's in
from
prison right now.
From Full House. That made me think of it.
She is. You're right, Jay. She's
yeah. Jaden. He's Jay. I'm Jaden.
No. I said she's in prison, and Mr. Del Santo was agreeing with me.
Yes.
Is she still?
Yeah.
I think she's out.
Oh. Obviously, the city or the state of California doesn't take fraud and bribery as serious as I do, and I'm very disappointed in my state right now. You know, we get AI summaries on TikTok of what's happening right now, and it says a casual chat about wrestling history from Bill Curtis to Big Mama. We never mentioned Bill Curtis.
We have now.
Yeah.
We have now. Pee Wee was in Back to the Beach.
Yes, he was. He did.
So was Gilligan and the skipper. I met them, by the way.
What about Captain Skeech and his Shrimp Shack?
That was the Wonders, and it was Dr. Geach and the Shrimp Shack Shooters.
So you met Alan Hale and Bob Denver?
Yes, they were in a parade that I happened to. I mean, meet them. I guess is more of a. They were in the same area that I was, and I got to say hi to them and shake their hand. But they were the same. But they were in a parade, and they were like on the float on one of the parades in the area. And then afterwards, I got to say hi to them because I was a big Gilligan's Island fan. By the way, Ginger or Marianne?
Marianne was smoking, dude. It's like,
when I was younger, I loved Ginger, but then as I got smarter, I started realizing how hot Marianne was.
Yep.
Not that I would have kicked Ginger out of bed for eating crackers, but
oh my god!
You know, honestly, I think if I were to pick today, I think I'd probably pick Ginger. I kind of like the more glamorous look. There's nothing wrong with Marianne either, and if Lovey Howell's your cup of tea, no judgment here. But I think I was more of a Ginger guy. Ginger
Spice, yeah.
Ginger, yeah. Look, redheads are.
I thought I was the redhead freak here.
Well, you still are. You still are.
I thought I was the one that liked the fire crotches.
You can't say that, dude.
Bro.
He's going to get more trouble saying what he said than what I said.
What did I say?
Not you, Rick.
Oh.
Wait, what did I say that was bad?
About a guy named Jesus.
I don't remember that. Was this recent?
It was a Latin guy named Jesus. Or actually, I'm sorry, he wasn't Latin. He was from Bethlehem.
He was from Syria, wasn't he?
Iraq?
All right. Okay. Anyways.
My wife is messing with me. Hello, wife.
Heyo. She's calling you a knockout.
Well, she's not wrong. Hey. I had a conversation recently. I was at AEW last night, and we're not going to get too much into it, but
Kevin Owens at AEW. You heard it here on the Alliance, guys.
Right. So the artist formerly known as Cassius Ono, Chris Hero, works for AEW, and I'm not sure what capacity, but he works for AEW. Yeah.
Yes, he does. Yeah.
And so this is where we start getting a little bit 6 degrees of separation. My friend of a friend runs a promotion in San Diego called Baja Stars USA, and they feature a lot of the lucha talent that's literally from Tijuana. They come over and they wrestle, and they have a lot of good connections and everything. At one point, they know the people who run the Museum of Lucha Libre right there in Tijuana, and Chris Hero wanted to go see the museum. So this friend of a friend brought him to the museum, and it was closed. And he had so much stroke with the owner of the museum that the manager of the museum came and gave him a private tour. So
that's awesome.
And I've been to that museum before, and it is the coolest thing is like you start seeing like they have all the ring worn masks. Like you see Ray's stuff, you've seen Santo stuff, you've seen Blue Demon stuff, but like the guy started keeping the hair from the hair versus hair matches. And so like there's a wall of probably like 25, 30, wrestlers' hairs, identified with the date, the time, who lost, what city. And you're like, oh, that's so cool. That's like history. But then the more you think about it, how many times did he collect that hair before it was like weird?
I don't know. I'm sure some basement marks that live in their mom's basement probably are all about that stuff. Like seriously.
Well, I'm just thinking we could have our own Jurassic Lucha Park.
Start cloning your own luchadors.
Yeah.
I thought more of like, how creepy was it? You're like, hey, can I keep that hair? Like,
no, they probably. They probably gave it away back then because they did stuff like that. They probably handed it to fans back then.
Sure.
Yeah,
And
nowadays they'll sell it online. You get a certificate with a framed piece of hair or something like that. So
it was just a very unusual experience to see that. And then when you start thinking about it, like that's like sociopath behavior, like.
Shame you're not sponsored by Manscaped. This could make a good segue.
A segue into what? Oh, this week's power?
No, Manscaped.
Oh. I need to probably try to find some sponsorship for this show. But as of right now, we're not. Thanks, Debbie. As of right now, we're not. So if you're enjoying this content and you want to help support us financially, you can become a sponsor. I'll be happy to walk you through the process. And if you enjoy fine wrestling discussion content like this, with mixed in with 80s sitcom references and the Golden Girls theme song.
And about hair.
And the hair. All right. So let's get to this week's power. We'll just briefly talk about it real quickly.
Thought we stopped talking about power.
We're just going to touch on it real quick because I know what you said.
Make sure if you're going to touch on it, it's consensual.
I had to sit and watch it today. Okay, Jaden. Just to prepare, I messed up.
I may be the GOAT, but I'm no Michael Jordan.
That's for sure.
Wow.
All my jokes might be slam dunks, but
oh my gosh. So
real quick, I heard LeBron's looking for a new team. You want to be asked LeBron? You want to join Dangerous John Wrestling Gladiators? I know a guy.
I mean, he'd be the big dog there.
Yeah, he'd probably job quick. He would just as soon as he get hit, he'd hold and land on the ground and get pinned.
Probably. Hey, this week's episode started off with the Pope taking on the debuting Richard Adonis. Our good friend Rick Del Santo is very familiar with Richard Adonis. Tell us a little bit about this guy.
He's a very talented individual. New Age Wrestling heavyweight champion out here on the East Coast, formerly of Springfield, Massachusetts, and now they run in Jersey somewhere. I don't remember where. But I've worked with him several times, and he's a super, super talented individual. And I think that you can kind of tell in this matchup with the Pope that he's something special, literally, in the ring. He really did a great job, I thought, in this match.
I enjoyed the match for what it was. He definitely the first thing that I look at when they bring in talent into the NWA is physique, and I guess that's very narrow-minded. But this guy had a great physique.
That's what they do in wrestling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's pro wrestling. Yeah.
Well, I mean, look, and I don't want to disparage anybody, but we've seen guys come into the NWA that still are in the NWA, and they are lacking in physique. They might be a great promo guy. They might be good in the ring. They might be a third-generation wrestler who used to hold the U.S. Tag Team titles, who's now currently feuding with the World's Heavyweight Champion. Mm-hmm. But, their physique is a little soft, and you're like, you're a wrestler. You should probably hit the gym a little bit harder, and if you're having trouble, maybe get a fitness coach to clean yourself up. I saw Richard Holiday post on social media a before and after picture that he's been working with a dietitian to get even better looking. And it's like, I think everyone should be doing that. Anyways, my point is that he looked really good in this match. And even though he ended up losing because of some outside interference from I think they call him the Light.
Yeah, something like that.
A good showing for him, and good for Richard Adonis. I hope that we see him again in Tampa soon. I'm not saying that he needs to be on every episode of Power, but he certainly, if he gets another opportunity, I think he'd make the best out of it. We also saw Big Kuzo taking on Eric Smalls. This was an open challenge.
Was it a short match?
What's that?
Was it a short match?
Yes, it was. I'm glad that he lost, but good Lord.
Can we book Rakim Oligorsky versus Peter Dinklage?
Could you book it? I don't think you have enough money to book Peter Dinklage. I
meant the NWA. Can they get Rakim versus Peter Dinklage? I'd pay to see that.
I don't think they have the money for that. Peter Dinklage, you know, he might be on the short list of some of the greatest actors of all time. Jaden?
Yes.
There you go. He
Don't
got
you-
it.
Yeah.
Don't
He's a
Big
great
and short,
actor,
I mean?
but, you know, I mean, what the hell? Not at the NWA. I don't think the NWA could afford to pay him to come in.
Okay, Obafemi versus Peter Dinklage for WrestleMania.
I would
You know,
buy that ticket.
Those Saudis might be interested in that.
There you go.
I don't know. I don't know enough about the Saudis.
Who's the Brad guy? What's his name?
Brad who?
The comedian.
Oh, the little person, Brad.
Brad Williams.
Brad Williams. There you go.
Yeah, he could be special guest referee. You know, he actually wrestled his match before Brad Williams. His finisher was the short arm scissors.
You sure it wasn't a short arm clothesline?
That's how he set it up.
All right, perfect. Let's see. Okay. So then going back to this week's Power, again, that was a quick squash match. And then, you know, Daisy Kill came out and ridiculed Eric Smalls post-match. We got Mike Mondo, who defeated Brian Idol. Now, I know a lot of you on our Discord were thinking that Brian Idol was going to be the next NWA national champion. And at least for the time being, that did not happen, which I'm very happy about. Mike Mondo looks like $1 million. That's a guy who puts in work in the gym for sure. He wrestles well. He looks great. With Aaron Stevens as his manager, he has someone that can be that additional voice that might be needed to help him get over. The match kind of got weird, though, because for whatever reason, Kerry Morton came out to help Mike Mondo, as in, like, he's got some beef with Brian Idol all of a sudden. And
Everybody
then,
has apparently beef with Brian Idol in the NWA.
Yeah. Well,
is he the head booker? Is he the head booker? Because that would make sense as to why.
Maybe, because then you got Silas Mason coming out, and he basically came to help Brian Idol, which, you know, they were involved in a blood feud just a few months ago. So it's kind of hard to understand what they were doing in this position. But long story short, we had a very fun match there. Mondo retains. Kerry and Silas, I think, are headed towards a showdown for Hard Times 6, which was filmed on June 6th while I was out of the country. We won't know the results for that for probably a few more weeks. And then, and Mike Mondo's still the national champion. I think that's the best news. Then do
you remember in the first Michael Bay Transformers movie where Megatron ripped Jazz in half?
Yes.
Could Mike Mondo do that to Brian Idol?
Probably.
No, but that would be great if he did.
I'm sure he could, but will he? I'm asking him.
No, it's not going to happen.
I'm asking him as a friend of a friend.
As a favor?
Yeah.
That's great. Then we got the tag team match. Country Gentleman, AJ Kazana, who was on the podcast earlier this week, teaming with his brother Casey, the NWA World Tag Team Champions. They are the ones that beat Odinson and Kratos to win those titles a couple weeks back. They defeated Nihan and Tom Latimer, and it was a mostly clean victory for the Country Gentlemen. And after they won this match, they actually took a tour of the UK, not UK, of Europe. They wrestled in Holland and Italy. The first time the NWA World Tag Team titles have been defended in both Italy and in New Amsterdam or whatever. I'm getting tired, I think.
And say that Billy's not doing something important with the NWA, right?
Yeah, I mean, if here's the thing, I do believe that everybody should be booking AJ Kazana. I do believe that the Country Gentleman could get over anywhere in the world, but the fact of the matter that you have Italy, a wrestling promotion in Italy, booking the NWA World Tag Team Champions, a promotion in Amsterdam booking the NWA World Tag Team Champions, I think that says something about the credibility of those tag team titles. With that being said, you got Silas Mason defending the 10 pounds of gold in All Japan Pro Wrestling. That's pretty significant. And You know,
you forgot to mention Alex Taylor and Jeremiah Plunkett wrestling in Canada. If you're going to do that, even though we did talk about it earlier, that's still.
I just think it means that the stock of NWA talent is starting to rise, and I think we're going to see, hopefully we see more of this. The one thing about the 10 pounds of gold, and I think what always made that title so significant, is it wasn't just in one area. It wasn't just stationed in North Carolina or Georgia or Florida. The world champion traveled the world, and more so than any other title. CMLL has been around for 93 years, but their championship hasn't traveled the world as much as the 10 pounds of gold. The WWE Undisputed Championship has been all over the world, but it doesn't wrestle in other promotions. We don't see that champion defending in, New Japan Pro Wrestling or Pro Wrestling Noah or something to that accord. But the 10 pounds of gold has always been defended in multiple wrestling promotions across the globe. And in recent years, we've seen that title defended in a AAA ring in Mexico. We've seen the title defended in Australia. We've seen the title defended in China. We saw the title defended in Canada, in the UK, in Poland with Nick Aldis, right? In Puerto Rico. We've seen the title defended in multiple places. All Japan is very significant and historic, and the only two guys that have done that since Ricky Steamboat are EC3 and Silas Mason. All of that to say is that is what makes the 10 pounds of gold special, unique, and different than any other world title. It is globally recognized by some of the biggest wrestling promotions in the world.
Right.
Sorry, sometimes I have to do that. I have to remind people what the NWA means. It's not just a territory promotions with a couple of Yahoo wrestlers. Like, this is going back to 1948. They just celebrated the 78th anniversary. We're going to have a pay-per-view next month about it, or I guess this month in 25 days, 23 days. But, to get to that point, you've had to have that established dominance. You had to have Edward Carpenter. You had to have
Edward Carpentier.
So, thank you. We had to have Lou Thez. We had to have, the whole bastion of champions that came after those two guys, and everyone.
Bastion Booger was never an NWA champion.
You are correct about that. You're absolutely right about that. So then that brings us to next week's Power, or this Saturday's Power, I guess you could say. Giselle Shaw returns. She will be teaming with Natalia Markova to take on the Women's World Champion, Tiffany Nieves, and Miss Star, the TVMA. We're also set to see, that's Greta and Tiffany Nieves with Miss Star. Also on the card, we're supposed to see Alex Taylor taking on Tony Layden. Let me try it again. Leyenda.
Oh, Leyenda. Tony Leyenda. I know that guy. Sorry.
Okay.
I recognize the name too, now that you say it.
He's a New Yorker. He's a guy. He was actually former WWC television champion as well, I believe. And,
okay.
So I've had the opportunity to work with him numerous times. Great guy for New Age Wrestling and for Coliseum Wrestling. But yeah, I know that he is going to be appearing. He's going to be at 78, actually. So,
great.
He's going to be there as well. So, yeah. It took me a minute when you were trying to say it.
Sorry.
No, it's cool. It's cool. So,
ask him to say Cahagas.
Shut it, you.
Tony Leyenda, he is a phenomenal. There's something special about that guy. I'm telling you right there. I think when you see him, I don't know what the NWA did with him, because I could tell you that this guy is great, and then they come in and do something ridiculous with him. You know what I'm saying?
It happens.
And that's kind of known, because it's like when I do see people up in the NWA that have popped in, like, Richard Adonis, for instance, was not the Richard Adonis that I've had the opportunity to work with in numerous occasions. But Tony Leyenda, I'm telling you, he could really do something in the NWA, I believe, because he's a super uber talented individual. Seriously.
I remember he was probably thinking you said a New Yorker, and I believe you're correct, because I recognize the name. I think he might have wrestled. I'm trying to remember now, but for some reason it sticks in my head that he might have wrestled for the New York NWA things too. Remember they had
the Outlaw Wrestling or whatever they were.
Yeah, I think he did that too.
NWA Upstate.
Yeah, because a bunch of guys that I what's his name, Chris Cage, a bunch of guys like New York guys that worked those shows that I'm familiar with.
Yeah. Go ahead, Jay.
Sorry, some of the chat got me a little bit confused there for a second. We have Carnage teaming up with Cristiano Argento to take on the Pope and Mims. That's a very interesting pairing. I don't know why, especially with the announcement that we have that we'll get into in a minute with Carnage, why Cristiano Argento would be his tag team partner, but nevertheless, that's what we have for this Saturday. And then a match of some new faces. I mean, not really new, but Damian Fenrir's been in the NWA for a bit, but Vin Parker makes I think this is his second match in the NWA, and I think that'll be a very fun match too. Both those guys are very exciting up and comers. We'll see what that'll bring on Saturday. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And now we'll talk about the 78th anniversary show, because there's been some match announcements. We've gone over a few of them over the past few weeks. First and foremost, we know that Nattie Neidhart will make her return to the 2300 arena for the NWA. What capacity, we don't know yet. No match has been announced yet. I would assume she's going to take on Tiffany Nieves. There's been no women's world championship match announced. Markova is busy doing something. As of right now, Kenzie and Kylie are a tag team with the championship. So Tiffany Nieves has a dance card that needs to be filled, and it might be filled with the Nattie Neidhart. Also on the card, we have Kerry Morton and Colby Carino. This, I believe, is Colby Carino's first match back in the NWA since the injury from last year at the 2300 arena. That was a Crockett Cup last year. It's been a long recovery process for him, but he's finally been cleared to wrestle, and he'll be taking on a Morton. So you got two NWA second generation wrestlers. I guess technically Kerry's a third generation wrestler, but some legacy bout going on here. We also have the match has been announced for Natalia Markova will be taking on Greta with Tiffany Nieves. So they've already kind of portioned Markova out of the main title match at the 78th anniversary show, and wrestling Greta. There has been some history between the two. Of course, we'll see it this week with Giselle Shaw and Markova taking on Greta and Tiffany Nieves, but apparently they'll have a one-on-one match at the anniversary show. Then the number one contenders match for the World's Heavyweight Championship, you got Heath, formerly known as Heath Slater in the WWE, along with Effy. They'll share the ring with Pretty Boy Smooth, Kratos, and Talos. It's a lot of beef in there, as one of those guys will walk away from the 78th anniversary event as your new number one contender. And the match that was announced just this week, literally just today, the Country Gentlemen will defend their NWA World Tag Team titles against Blunt Force Trauma, Carnage, and Damage. At least that's what's on the poster. Of course, card is always subject to change, so there might be a new EFT, but as of right now, it's Carnage and Damage on the poster. And Rick. Oh, I also forgot about the dog collar match with yeah, wasn't the match I was most looking forward to, but Daisy Kill and Eric Small will be in the dog collar match. Yeah. So,
did they get Eric Smalls from PetSmart? It's got rhinestones on it. Did he steal from a poodle or a chihuahua?
I don't have an answer for you.
Puppy collar match?
A puppy collar match?
Yeah.
So again, there's some matches on the card that I think look really good. There's some matches on the card that I'm kind of scratching my head about. We haven't seen Damage in an NWA ring in some time. So if it's that Blunt Force Trauma, we haven't seen them together as a tag team, let alone have they had any success as a tag team within 2 or 3 years.
Yes.
Ever since they've lost the tag titles, I don't think they've had a winning record.
Right.
So that's a little puzzling. again, if I was booking the NWA, I don't know that I would put Markova in a match with Greta. I just don't think I would waste my time on that. And I'm not.
Are they going to regret it?
Yeah, I think they will.
Okay.
But again, there are some things that I'm excited to see. There's some things I'm interested in. I will be there. I bought my ticket. I paid for my airfare. I still need a hotel and a car. But what about you, Rick Del Santo? How do you feel about this card? Have they done anything yet to get you excited about this event? Are you willing to drive to this show?
Not yet. Not yet. It just seems like another NWA show to me. Seriously. Is that bad? That's bad, isn't it?
Well, that's not bad for you to say it. It's bad for them to. That's what it is.
I love the NWA, but honestly, is it worth driving 3.5 hours there and then it ending at, say, midnight-ish and then driving 3.5 hours back home? That's
you could stay in Jay's hotel room and then the next day go to a Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators event at the Monmouth County Fair and enjoy the Monmouth County Fair and multiple mini 2-match cards at that Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators.
You hear this stuff? Trying to sell me something here?
I mean, I'll get a room with 2 queen beds so we don't have to share.
Oh, man, I thought we were going to get 1 king bed.
I mean, we could. We'll talk about that offline. Rick. My wife is watching still.
Sorry.
She's probably not.
In seriousness, though, but I don't know. Is it worth literally? I mean, last time I spent money, I paid for the hotel, all that other business. It's just, I don't know, man. I really don't know. I'm still really thinking about it. It's not going to sell out. I don't think it'll sell out.
Lou says is driving 500 miles, and Lou says is driving 500 more just to see the NWA and probably be disappointed. No, just kidding. But no, seriously, you go, you hang around with Jay, you go to the NWA, you get to hang around with probably Big Chris Dog and hear him complain. Then you go then you go to Tony Luke's, or if I could finally convince you guys to try, one of the places on Oregon. Even I won't be there with you.
No, you won't be there with us.
I would probably just go just to hang out with, you guys, if anything. You know what I'm saying?
And then you hang around in the hotel room and you do some shots with Jay in the hotel room. And then you make up, you get some stories that you can't tell on the Alliance guys. And then you go check out the Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators at the Monmouth County Fair, because we're going to be there from the 26th to the 29th, or the 22nd to the 26th.
Okay, Matthew Underwood has corrected me. This is a second match back. He was on Hard Times. Okay.
Hard Times, baby.
Yeah, so I mean, look, I last year had an opportunity to go to the anniversary show in New York, and I opted not to. I chose the Crockett Cup. I knew that it was going to be somewhere in the Northeast. I didn't know it was going to be in New York. I chose to go to the Crockett Cup, and the main reason why I chose that was because Nattie Neidhart was on the card, and I had a bunch of great ideas that they were going to use and make Nattie Neidhart NWA Women's World Champion. That didn't happen. I still think that Nattie Neidhart is going to have a hell of a match, whoever she wrestles, and I still think there's going to be elements of the show that are going to be awesome. I had a little bit of FOMO not going to last year's anniversary show. I did not get to see our boy Thrillbilly Silas Mason win the 10 pounds of gold that you got to see, Rick. Now, I don't know what the matches are going to be for Silas Mason. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they bring in an All Japan opponent. Maybe he's wrestling
Hammerstone, who has been announced.
Who?
Hammerstone has been announced as being there, so maybe Hammerstone.
And
yeah, that would be a good match, but
it's a return to the last Crockett Cup, which I don't have a problem with that, but that's not a match that would sell me on going if I wasn't already going.
Right.
But I think that they will have a great match. All this to say, I had FOMO for not going to last year's anniversary show, and this year I had a little bit of FOMO for not going to the Crockett Cup. And it's, you kind of have to pick and choose what you're going to do. So I'm going to go to this year's anniversary show. It'll probably be the only NWA event I go to this year. and I'm looking forward to it. And anyone who's coming, I would love to hang out with you. I probably won't have shirts in time ready, so those will have to be shipped out later. But I'm looking forward to seeing everybody who is coming out. I know Dave Scooby's going to be there. I know Luthez is coming out. And like Jaden mentioned, Big Chris Dog will be there. So we'll be representing the Alliance if it's just the 3 of us or 4 of us or whatever. But if you come out, I would gladly let you sleep in my hotel room. With that being said, I'm also planning to do what Jaden mentioned is because there is several matches taking place at the Monmouth County Fair.
Yes.
And I'm flying in on Friday. I think I land at 4, so I think I could still make it to at least
5:30's first one.
Yeah, well, I don't know if I'll be able to go from straight from the airport to the hotel to the fair. I don't know if I'll have time to get there by 5:30, but I'll certainly try. I got nothing else going on Friday night. And then depending on how late Saturday night goes, I might see if there's anything going on post anniversary show down at the fair. And if not, then Sunday I plan to spend all day at the fair.
The fair will be over by the time the NWA is done. So yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
But so I think that's going to be my weekend, and anyone who wants to join me is more than welcome to.
Hint, hint, nudge, nudge.
Matthew Underwood said, what if BFT was the fallback plan because the Good Brothers dropped out, and what if Markova and Greta is for the Burke? So, yes, to both of those, yes. I don't know what happened at Hard Times. I haven't seen any spoilers for Hard Times, so I can't tell you educatedly guess why we're getting Greta versus Markova. If it is a title match, great. If it's not, if Markova won the title, why not give me Nattie versus Natalya? That match would bang. That would be a great match. Even if Nattie doesn't win, that'd still be a banger of a match.
Because I don't think they were expecting the need to try to throw a Hail Mary to draw the crowd, because I thought they would draw better.
Maybe. I just and I'm not trying to pick on the talent, right? I know that Greta's still new and that she's working on things and she's trying to get better, and I can celebrate her for that. She's not great right now, and I would like for her to be great. I would like for her to be the best wrestler on the planet, because it would just make the NWA better, but she's not there yet. So I wouldn't put her in a high-profile match. If it's for the Burke, why? And then as far as BFT being the backup plan, again, I don't have a problem with that either. But the last time I saw Damage wrestle, I was not happy with the way I saw Damage wrestle. And again, I don't know what happened at Hard Times, but the last time I saw BFT team together, they weren't good. Carnage still has it. Damage is getting older. And, if you're going to give me
Rodney Mack, right? I'm guessing. Sorry, kayfabe.
Rodney Mack? Former NWA North American champion Rodney Mack?
I'm just making sure. I don't know.
That's why Jay's afraid of Rodney Mack.
You stop it right there, sir.
I was just asking. I don't know anything.
No, all that to say, there were better options in tag team. Even if it was the Slimers, like the Slime Squad. What do they call them?
Slime balls.
Slime balls. I could not come up with. Anyways,
I'm tired of those
that'd be
guys.
great if it was Slimer, because then they can get like Peter Venkman and Egon and Ray Stantz and Winston. I don't know Winston's last name. It wasn't Churchill.
Okay.
Winston Steadmore.
Steadmore sounds right. Anyways, all of that to say,
and Janine.
Mima.
You with us, Jay?
Gina and the Keymaster and the what was that?
Sigourney Weaver. Don't forget Rick Moranis and Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah, I was actually mentioning their characters. You cut me off. And Vigor, the Carpathian.
That's my your impression.
Vigor.
Whatever. Can we move on? Can we drop the Ghostbuster reference? By the way, remind me to send you the picture of the Ghostbuster vehicle I saw in front of a Costco the other day. It's pretty awesome.
That's cool. We have one. We have a Jurassic Park one that goes around my gym all the time.
There was a Jurassic Park guy in our neighborhood too. There was the one that got me off guard the other day. Is the guy had his like RAV4 wrapped to look like the Toy Story pizza Planet truck.
Yeah,
and it was wrapped to look like it had damage on it too. I was like, that's awesome.
That's awesome.
So yeah, again, I'm looking at the 78th anniversary show, and I'm not so much blown away by what the card is, but again, I think there's elements to the show that are going to be good, and I'm excited for that.
If you do come on Sunday, Rick and Jay, I will tell you that Fallah Bob will be there.
Oh, then I'm definitely going to be there on Sunday.
And you get to see the legendary Biggie B, if you will.
Say that again?
The legendary Biggie B.
I thought you said Biggie E. I'm like, you did not get Biggie E to come to your show. Those are event. Yeah. Biggie B's. So speaking of events, there's supposed to be an event happening on the 4th of July. 2 days from today.
Yes.
So thunderstorms could
weather pending
in contention.
Dog jobs to bad weather.
Do you want to talk about it?
Sure. The Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators is supposed to take place on July 4th for the All-American Bash. You get to see the main event. Gabby Ortiz defending the World Wrestling Grand Prix Women's Champion against WWE ID superstar and prospect in Sloane Jacobs. So I can't wait to see that match. It's actually going to be really, really good. They have wrestled many times. They have traveled. They've trained both at the Monster Factory. They are rivals and frenemies, and I really do look forward to this match. If it does happen, I will make sure it's on YouTube because everybody's going to want to see it. It's a long standing battle between these two individuals, and it's gone back and forth. And either you're going to see Sloane Jacobs bring that World Wrestling Grand Prix Women's Championship with her to WWID and evolve maybe, or you're going to see Gabby Ortiz show that she's the strong, powerful Latina baddie that she is. And Jay loves it when I call her that. Nope, not under a tent, under 120 million degrees temperature and no rain and thunderstorms if it happens. But yeah.
No, he was asking about the fair.
Nope, fair's not under a tent either. But you get to not only do you get to watch the matches, but right around the same time the matches happen, there's also the pig races where you watch these little teeny tiny piglets do an obstacle course that also ends into them swimming in a little teeny tiny pool. And it's the cutest thing you've ever seen. And this year, luckily Dave Dahl's not going to ever be there because, then it wouldn't be pig racing. It'll be hog racing. And nobody wants to see that hog run around.
It's going to be funnel cake.
There'll be a funnel cake, and hopefully I don't wear it this time.
What
was that?
What match is next?
Oh, then for the Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators Championship, you're going to see the forever champion, Vinny the Fixer, with the new championship. Not that one. He'll have a different brand new one, defending against the incredibly talented Mike Z. He is the guarantee, and I guarantee this match is going to be one you do not want to miss. So again, Vinny the Fixer has defended the championship 21 times so far successfully, and this will be his 22nd defense. So I'm looking forward to this match too. Vinny has, by hook or crook, held on to that championship, but Mike Z is talented enough to take it away from him. So you make sure you want to see that match. I definitely recommend if you can come check that out. That's going to be the one that you don't have to pay for you don't have to pay for the seat. In fact, you bring your own because there is no seats going. But God, that was such a horrible joke there, Lou. What are you doing porking with that hog anyway? But anyway, That match, you don't have to buy a chair. In fact, you bring the chair for yourself. But if you sit in the chair, you're not going to need the entire seat. You're only going to need the edge. Anyway, you're going to see. Also, for the Mid-Atlantic Wrestling Alliance Heavyweight Championship, Billy Gold takes on the Henrik. The Henrik was just recently at the Nightmare Factory for an Evolve tryout with the WWID Evolve with Gabe Sapolsky, and he was there training under Gabe and learning from the Nightmare Factory and Gabe and trying to improve. And he's looking to bring what he learned to take on Big Billy Gold to take that Mid-Atlantic Wrestling Alliance Championship away from Big Billy Gold. The guy is big as a billboard. He's not really anymore, but Big Billy Gold versus Henrik. The Henrik with 3 E's for the Mid-Atlantic Wrestling Alliance Heavyweight Championship. You're also going to see Dylan Mesh, the upstanding gentleman that he is, taking on Samuel Fozzy. That's Samuel Fozzy has fought against Vinny the Fixer, came within a tiniest little smidgen of winning the Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators Championship from Vinny, and now I think Vinny knows that how Samuel is a threat, so I think he's sending Dylan Mesh after Samuel to keep him from climbing up that ladder and getting another shot at the Dog Championship. But that match is going to be really good. Dylan Mesh is extremely talented, and so is Samuel, and it's going to be one of those matches that may be the sleeper of the event, not just because somebody's going to put a sleeper on there. You're going to see the ultra incredibly popular Marvelous.
Oh, wait.
Okay, well, we got Marvelous take on Connor Schaefer. Same thing. Marvelous is currently the #1 contender. He just won up the rankings. He's currently ranked #1 in the Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators rankings. I think Connor Schaefer is doing the same thing with Marvelous, trying to either hurt him or move him down that ladder to protect Vinny, because I think Vinny knows how talented Marvelous is and doesn't want to have to face him again. So I think that's what Connor Schaefer is there for. He's playing spoiler, not anything to do with Don Jardine. And he'll be sitting there taking on Marvelous at this event. Also, you're going to see one of the most charismatic and talented and just one of the most entertaining wrestlers in Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators, The Focus, Nick Batti. As Nick Batti takes on the future Ezra Coleman. Ezra Coleman's a young wrestler just starting his career, shows a ton of potential, and he's going to have to bring all that potential and all that talent. He's a D1 athlete. He's got to bring all that athletic skill to take on The Focus, Nick Batti, on July 4th. Then we're going to go back, since you saw the graphic a little earlier. Dad Bod is going to take on the president of professional wrestling. He's trying to make professional wrestling great again. President Edward Hawkins. So the State of Union, he's going to come out there and talk about how he is going to make pro wrestling great again, and he's going to have to go and the predictable Dad Bod. Dad Bod is our version of like Jimmy Valiant meets Bugsy McGraw. So that's actually going to be a fun match. The fans are going to really, really enjoy it. Not mentioned, and there's no graphic, unfortunately, but the Tim Dynamite is going to be coming with a special enforcer to take on Primal Fear for the Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators Tag Team Championship. And we only have one once a year. We only do one of these a year. It's going to be the Ultimate Stud Battle Royal to honor the late Jimmy Clydesdale. So the Ultimate Stud Battle Royal, we only have one Battle Royal a year, and apparently Jay doesn't have the graphic for it, even though it's up there. It'll be part of the Ultimate Stud Battle Royal. Will also be part of it. I'm sure there'll be more stuff, assuming again our weather holds up. If anybody has a weather cube or has any mutant powers, if you know Aurora from Africa, maybe she could help us prevent this storm. There's a come on, nobody.
I got it.
Okay.
Storm. I got it.
Yeah. Yeah, so I come. Hopefully, the weather keeps up, and we don't have to worry about that. But either way, if there is no storms, it'll be July 4th, and then after that starts at 6 p.m. Now, after the event ends, there'll be fireworks. There's also live music, food trucks, vendors. If you like hot sauce, the Dragon Spit Sauce Company is going to be there, and they make a banging Reaper sauce. It's really, really, really spicy and really, really good. Big fan of that. And you don't like the spice?
No,
it's not ginger spice or scary spice. It's incredibly spicy spice.
Oh yeah, I know that guy.
Yeah, and then there's DK who's Old Spice.
Oh my god, watch it, watch it.
I have to watch it because they can't hear it. Anyway, but yeah, there's going to be all this wrestling action. Make sure you come check it out. Fireworks, food, pro wrestling, everything you can want in a 103 degrees Saturday afternoon. It's last evening.
What more could you ask for?
Air conditioning, good weather.
True. Absolutely.
Probably more. Oh, real quick, there's also 8 matches on YouTube right now that have been uploaded. So go check out the dog YouTube. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share. Don't forget to hit the bell icon so you never miss an upload of Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators action. Okay, now go.
Luthez says, hot is not a flavor. It's a gimmick. Prove me wrong.
See, if you had the Reaper sauce, it's both spicy and tasty. So you'll get a really good combination of making your mouth feel like you need to drink 17,411 gallons of Gatorade, and also flavor.
All right, that's fair. Hey, Rick, I know that you are in the podcasting business. I know that you do wrestling coverage, not only live play-by-play, but also talking to the history of pro wrestling. What do you got coming up next on your vessel?
Nothing. I took the month of June off, so I'm just looking to start. I'm starting to book some things, so don't worry about that. I do have a couple things, but they're.
Don't you worry about Rick Del Santo.
I'll be
watch it. Oh.
Starting next week, we will start putting out new episodes. My retro show has been moved to the retro. Jeez, Gene Jackson's gonna kill me. Gene Jackson, the guy that wrote the Eddie Gilbert book, he has a retro wrestling network.
Ooh.
So my classic wrestling show is on there where I interview legends and stuff like that. So I have booked some guests. I do have booked some guests for that coming up. I'm sure you guys know Territory star Doug Masters. He's going to be coming up. Oh crap! Who the hell else? Gino Carabello, former WWF jobber. He's going to be coming up on the show. Geez, I have one more. Oh, I just spoke with last year. I spoke with Richard Sartain, who was one half of the Ding Dongs in WCW. Today, I just confirmed that I will be talking to Greg Evans, who is the other Ding Dong, Ding or Dong, and be talking to him and get into his career with Deep South Wrestling and talking to the Assassin Judy Hamilton, and of course his short stint in WCW and all that other stuff.
The Ding Dongs, they ring a bell.
Yeah. Right now that I've only have stuff set up for the classic show. So.
They ring a bell.
Yeah.
That joke was so good we heard it twice. Was DK on all of a sudden?
I thought I muted my mic and it still played. So sorry, that's my. That's on me. Apologies.
Anything coming up wrestling wise, Rick? Do you have anything with Alley fights or anything?
Well, yeah, actually tomorrow night is Alley Fights, the next Alley Fight. So it's going to be hot as hell in there because we're trying to install air conditioning starting today, and hopefully we'll get it working tomorrow before the show before the event starts. So the next Alley Fights is tomorrow. Jermaine Marbury, Wrestling Open Star, is going to be there. Bobby Casal is going to be there. Let's see who else. Got a bunch of guys. The Rugged, who's sorry guys, Picciani, Johnny Medina, and there's going to be a lot of great stuff going on at Alley Fights tomorrow. So it's going to be taped. It'll be up in the next couple weeks, up on YouTube and Facebook and all that other stuff. So we're streaming live on Facebook as well nowadays, or not live, but pre-taped, and the episodes that we put together. And that's really it. That's it, wrestling wise, that I have. Actually, if I don't mind, this Sunday, There's going to be a local event that's a very special event near and dear to my heart. It's an all-black event, professional wrestling event, black. BST, Blood, Sweat, and Tears is hosting all-black everything in Camden, Connecticut. Go check it out, BST, on Facebook for the information. And it's going to be a great show. So it's going to be streaming live on IWTV as well, I believe.
That's
sweet.
Did you say?
I'll have to check that out. I know Jay won't.
Jesus Christ, man. July 12th, which is 10 days from today, will be the next Sunday Night Slam. I hope you guys would be interested in checking it out. Obviously, if you can't be there in Long Beach, which many of you can't, you can watch it right here on the Alliance blog. Make sure you tune in. It's another big show, another big event. The only match announced so far will be Ray Jazz challenging for the United Wrestling Network Television Championship against the literal star, Evan Daniels.
You should tell Dave to host one out in New York, to have Gotham hosted out in New York. Then I would go.
He was looking at running another venue in Gotham, like they would do one for TV and one for like kind of like a live event where they wouldn't televise it, because it was a smaller venue, but it was a really cool venue. It was in the city.
Okay.
But we'll see. I know that there are a lot of plans right now that they've been discussing, including but not limited to Championship Wrestling kind of touring the West Coast, the territories that it airs in. So like doing a live event in Phoenix, doing a live event in Las Vegas, doing a live event in Denver, doing the live event in Irvine, and it being on a rotating basis. Now, if that happens, awesome. I don't know. It's still being talked about, but it's kind of exciting if you ask me.
Yeah,
cool.
I mean, I think that I wonder what kind of how they would get, if they would do something similar out here, because it does air on regular television out here.
Well,
sports.
Maybe you should get Alley Fights and have them do a partnership with Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, and then they could have Mario Mancini and Paul Roma, and of course Rick Del Santo, maybe doing some commentary on some of those.
I mean, that. Look, I don't know if I'm even supposed to talk about this, so we'll say things without giving away the details. But there should be another show coming to Florida under the United Wrestling Network banner that would be produced by Championship Television, and there is supposed to be another production coming to Dallas, not Forney, Dallas. So and it's based on the success that Sunday Night Slam has had. People around the country are witnessing what Thunder Studios and Championship Wrestling, United Wrestling Network, Championship TV have put together, and it's starting to get some notice. And I'm not saying that it's going to change the world. I'm not saying that any of these things are 100% going to happen, but I know that they're in the works. And if anyone can pull it off, it's Dave Marquez. So,
a very talented individual, right? And
I think so.
I think so. I love every the products that he puts out. So I'm a fan of the United Wrestling Network. I watch everything that I can, that I have access to, I should say.
Yeah,
I'm still waiting for Championship Wrestling from Buckets from Rent.
It's been a rough year, man. It's not going to happen this year. All right. Well, for DKM, who couldn't bother to be on the show tonight. For our good friend, the Professor, Rick Del Santo, for Jaden, and all you crazy people who watched us for the last 2 hours.
Thank you for being a friend.
My name is Jay Cal. You have been watching the Alliance Guys, and we'll see you next time at The Matches.
Thanks for joining the stream. This has been a presentation of Alliance-Wrestling.com. We genuinely appreciate your support. Would you consider subscribing so you'll never miss a future episode? I'd also like to remind you we do a live stream every Tuesday at 5 p.m. before NWA Power. You can find us on social media at The Alliance Blog. And until next time, we are The Alliance.